Hi Stitchers, and welcome to Julie Hall Designs. Thanks for joining us today as I take you through how we are going to make these beautiful covered handles for this month's project, which is our wire frame bag. Now, if you haven't seen these bags yet, check them out. They are gorgeous. We are going to show you how to make the different handles for them. We are going to show you how to stitch out the project itself in the hoop before you stitch it together, and we are going to show you how to even embroider that panel on it. So come along and let's learn together how to make these great covered handles. So first step that we are going to do for sewing our bag together is to make our handles. So I've made one here so you can see exactly what it's going to look like. So I'm taking those extra two pieces of fabric, which were 79 centimeters by I think 6 centimeters, and what I've got is a piece of webbing, and the webbing that I've got is 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters, and it's kind of just the perfect amount to give a nice usable handle. So what I want to be doing here is coming through, and I've got the same amount of webbing as I've got of fabric. I want to press that fabric and then fold it in half very carefully along that seam. Now, if you can cut this with a rotary cutter, that is fantastic, because you really do want this to be as straight of a cut as you possibly can get. And then to help with sewing it and so the fabric doesn't move, take some of your quilt clips and lay them down the length of our fabric. So I've got my HP foot on here, and I love this foot because it turns the machine basically into a really beautiful straight stitch machine. And I am sewing on, you can see here, I'm sewing on the 1/8 of an inch line, just because I want that little bit of wiggle room. Then when I come down to the bottom here, I want to stitch across and tie that off so that I can turn it out. Back here at my desk, I'm then just going to trim those 2 points and take my good old turning chopstick and once we've got our fabric turned out, come through and just clip off that turning end there, so that you've got a nice solid strap. Now, I'm actually not going to press this yet, and there is method in my madness, because the first thing that I want to do is to actually come through and grab my webbing, and I've used just my lighter to take the edges off the just to secure them so they don't fray, and take a pin, and all we're going to do is then thread that through. Now, don't worry about trying to keep it straight or anything like that. We will work all of that out later. At the moment, all we're doing is getting the webbing through, and okay, so now that we've got that through, what I'm going to do is just twist that seam around until it is straight along the center of one side, which then becomes the back of the handle. And look, mine got some absolute twist on. As you're twisting it around, what you'll then find is you will be able to then press so you've got that seam in the center back. Now, to finish off these handles, what we are going to do is we are going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch down either side. We are also going to pop the seam allowance in, and I'm just using my awl to come through and tuck that fabric under, just between 1/4 and 1/2 an inch, and I'm just pulling the fabric down just ever so slightly. Tuck it in, and then we are going to stitch that down so you won't have any exposed edges. Take the time to really sit those seams in nicely so that they are really pretty when you are finished with them. Now, I've got my one slip down to the bottom there. I am going to do exactly the same thing on this side. I'm just going to trim . Get rid of those little fluffies. And then we are going to tuck that under. Okay. And our strap. So, key things to all of our stitching that is going to get you the best look possible. Every time you stop stitching, do a trim. Okay, just get rid of any loose or horrible threads that you can see, and what we are left with is 2 straps ready to go.